Hello everyone, and welcome to today's episode of Random Reviews. I'm your host Daniel. Today I will be discussing an episode which I previously uploaded. Welcome to Brickleberry, the debut episode, the pilot episode I should say, of the adult animated series Brickleberry, created by Roger Black and Roger Black as one of their co-creators, starring Tom Kenny and Daniel Tosh, and among other people. And Roger Black also serves as one of the voice actors as well, among others whom at this present time I cannot remember. I apologize. It's one of my favorite series. It's one of those series you can actually watch on repeat, and one that I admit I will listen to, not watch, but listen to while I'm working. So it just shows that I can multitask, and it's a series that I can watch over and over again. I find it quite funny. It's quite funny. In the same vein as Family Guy or The Cleveland Show. Not as or South Park if you're in that same vein, but I'm more of a Family Guy person than South Park. Anyhow, I digress. The scene opens to a lovely piece of music, whose name or piece of music I cannot remember the name of. I apologize for my horrible sampling there. Where the viewer sees a majestic national forest with bears and other animals in the midst of fornicating. Unfortunately, 4 children have now been permanently scarred by watching this spectacle. With them is Steve Williams, the supposed top head ranger of Brickleberry National Park. Then we cut to the opening credits. Steve then shows the children how to make a fire. Unfortunately, he isn't very good at making a fire and only succeeds at setting another camp supervisor on fire, who's dressed as Flamey the Bear, a mascot of Brickleberry National Park, and inadvertently kills him by beating him to death with a frying pan, attempting to put the flames out, all the while trying to impress an older woman who is with the children, presumably as supervising the children, and in Steve's opinion, an attractive den mother. We are then introduced to the rest of the Brickleberry team. Woody, a hot-tempered, overworked leader of the national park, voiced by Tom Kenny. He brings Malloy, a small bear cub who is also anthropomorphic, a box of chocolates, stating that he had to go into another state to get them, as where they are in Brickleberry does not sell them. Malloy, instead of being grateful, complains, claiming that he specifically asked for chocolate with 88% cocoa, with more than 80% cocoa in it, not 70% cocoa, as Woody had given him, and promptly throws them to the floor. Disappointed, Woody picks them up. The rest of the team include Denzel, the pot-smoking, lazy ranger who is African-American, the only African-American, as it turns out, in the Brickleberry team, and Steve's best friend. Connie, the overweight yet good-natured ranger who acts as the Meg of the group and is constantly mocked by the others, who happens to be a lesbian, who possesses supernatural strength but is often prone to bellowing and running away upon being mocked or teased by others. Woody tells the rangers that their tourism numbers are down and Yellowstone is attracting more people. As a result, he has hired a new ranger. Hereupon, we are introduced to Ethel, an attractive blonde ranger who was the young lady that Steve saw earlier, whom he mistook for a den mother. Steve immediately assumes Ethel is a threat to his Ranger of the Month award, which he has won for the last 6 months. He immediately challenges Ethel, telling her that she will not win his coveted Ranger of the Month award, and promptly walks out. Everyone is impressed with Ethel, especially Connie, whom it is revealed that she is attracted to Ethel, going so far as to collect Ethel's discarded toenail clippings in her cabin when Ethel is not looking, and collecting a sample of her toenail clippings and hair within her so-called sniffy box. Woody asks Steve to show Ethel around Brickleberry, which Steve reluctantly does, bragging while driving Ethel in his ranger car while driving over Brickleberry Lake that he saved a ranger, to which Steve receives a call coincidentally from Woody stating that the ranger has recovered from his injuries sustained while falling off a jet ski, that Steve had previously accidentally injured him, and that he will not be sued because he cannot remember anything because of the concussion he suffered, much to Steve's embarrassment. A humorous montage is then shown of Ethel succeeding in everything without much difficulty, such as rescuing drowning children, caring for condors, and having the animals walk up to her in a pleased manner, all the while leading to Steve throwing one child into the water, hitting his head on the dock in the process, inadvertently dropping condor eggs on the floor on the ground while nailing in an endangered condor sign tree, resulting in the mother committing suicide upon its eggs dropping to the ground, and being mauled by bears. Steve eventually decides to suck up to Ethel and pretends to apologize for his actions, stating that he felt threatened by her and is sorry and wishes they could work together. Ethel, however, rejects his apology, stating that she doesn't want anything to do with him since he is a jerk. A subplot, meanwhile, throughout this episode has been Malloy eating junk food. Upon being told by Ethel that junk food is bad for a growing bear cub's diet, Woody forbids Malloy from eating any junk food. This results in Malloy robbing a convenience store while obtaining one Dorito. However, he gets lost on the way back to Brickleberry National Park, but promptly stumbles across a trailer park where the man inside offers him chips and chocolate. Suspicious at first, Malloy declares the man a rapist, to which the man, who is a stereotypical hillbilly, denies being a rapist, despite the fact he has a court order forbidding him to staying away from children and small animals with his name signed on it. Malloy gives in upon being offered chocolate. Prior to Steve approaching Ethel and falsely apologizing, he is informed by Connie upon sneaking into her cabin and trying to suffocate Ethel with a pillow, discovering Connie there spying on Ethel. Here it is revealed by Connie that she has an attraction to Ethel, and that Ethel's only weakness or fault is her being an alcoholic, and resulting in her being fired from Yellowstone. Such evidence was obtained by Connie stealing Ethel's diary. Eventually, later that day, back to the present story, apologize for the backtrack, Ethel later sees Steve and apologizes for being very harsh on him, and states that she understands his position being threatened and wants to make amends, to which Steve happily agrees. They embrace several times, at which Steve is finally able to slip some alcohol in Ethel's coffee. This results in Ethel getting severely drunk and the two of them driving around in a helicopter. Not a car, as Ethel mistakenly believes. This results in Ethel inadvertently crashing into a school, inadvertently sawing some hedges and the hedge clipper person in half, and promptly getting fired from Brickleberry National Park. Ethel, of course, has no idea, believing all she drank was coffee and didn't realize she was drunk. This devastates Connie, and a remorseful Steve apologizes, stating that it is sad to see her go, but also does not reveal to her the truth that he was the one who got her fired. Upon Ethel leaving, Woody frantically rushes up to Steve, stating that he and Denzel had unsuccessfully gone to try and find Malloy, and since he is missing, and Ethel, being the only one to track animals, has to go find Malloy with Steve's help. Steve finds Ethel at a bar, nearly drinking her sorrows away, but is promptly shot in the hand by Steve, who finally admits that Ethel is the superior ranger to him, and that he needs her help in finding Malloy. The two eventually track Malloy down to the trailer where the hillbilly is, and find Malloy, safe, or maybe not, as he is currently being anally raped by the hillbilly, to which he is punished by picking up litter for 3 days, since he has just committed a misdemeanor, nothing serious. This, of course, being a cartoon, much to Malloy's chagrin. Ethel is promptly given her job back, and Steve is promptly re-rewarded his Ranger of the Month badge, to which it appears that he is going to give it to Ethel. Instead, he merely pins it to the other side of his shirt, much to Ethel's disgust. Steve brags that Ethel thinks he is an asshole now, but doesn't realize that he was the one who spiked her coffee. Unfortunately for Steve, this is not an internal monologue, but something he says out loud, which results in Ethel chasing Steve, resulting in Steve accidentally running into another man who is telling people about the dangers of big vats of acid, resulting in him falling into the big vat of acid and dying. Well, that was the end of Brickleberry, the pilot episode. Welcome to Brickleberry. I hope you enjoyed it, and for those of you that saw the previous upload, I do apologize, as I had to delete the original upload because it was among a backload of other videos that were presently uploading. Well, I've learnt my lesson, so I am now only going to submit content after the last video I record has been uploaded successfully. I hope you enjoy this video. Please hit the thumbs up if you like it, leave a comment down below, and rest assured I will keep covering this series in the future. And for those of you who have seen my latest channel update, don't worry, I will review Rob Zombie's Halloween, the 2007 film, the first film in the remake series, before this week is over. Until then, be cool, stay safe. I'm your host, Daniel. Thank you for watching, and I'll see you next time.